Welcome back to Happening Now with Hammer. I'm Cousin Adam coming to you from Newport Beach, where we are more than excited to bring you an incredible show. I'm joined in the studio today by Brandi. You know her from Storage Wars, and she might have been going through your trash looking for a good find. Also in the studio, we have Hammer, the one, the only. You know him from Small Claims Court. Here he is now.
Hello, everyone. What are we doing today, Adam?
We have Whitney, and Whitney is here to tell us more about breathwork.
If you guys don't know how to breathe, we're going to teach you how today.
Yes, so put on those prescribed headphones with the audio from your doctor telling you in, out, and exhale.
In, out, and exhale? Isn't out exhaling?
Brandi is so smart. I love you, Brandi. Oh, it's awesome.
That's what the nicer health insurance plan will get you, folks. So definitely spring for your PPO option.
She's got an HMO.
PPO option.
So, Whitney, what are we doing today?
Thanks for having me. Well, today I just want to explain about breathwork.
Perfect.
It's definitely the hot topic right now. You've probably heard it in a lot of healing spaces, maybe tacked onto your yoga class or just people talking about how we need to take a breather in this life. So I'll be taking you through kind of what breathwork is, the background, and then I'll get you breathing on the mats.
The guys at the bar never talk about breathwork. I don't know, we don't get into it that much. Yeah, not yet, that's true. So Whitney, who should be doing this?
Everybody. Everybody can practice breathwork. You don't have to get down and dirty and do a whole session. Just practicing breathwork means that you're in tune with your breath, and we all, as humans, breathe, of course. So it's just kind of getting in more of a meditative state with your breath and then realizing when we're in different breath patterns. When do we hold our breath usually?
God, I think I hold my breath a lot.
When we're anxious.
Yeah.
When we're driving, perhaps. When we're feeling angry.
When I'm annoyed.
When I'm annoyed, exactly.
It's one of those things you just never think about it.
Yeah.
Right? It's like your heart beating. You don't think about it.
And it impacts so much, whether we're breathing through our nose, whether we're breathing through our mouth.
What time period would you say is typical to break up a breathwork session in, either for different sorts of experiences or what you're kind of trying to get out of the practice?
Totally. So usually my practice itself is going to be anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. But something that you want to do on your own, let's say depending on what you're trying to aim for, you can do a breath practice from 5 to 10 minutes. You can do simple breathing by just inhaling in, exhaling out for a count of 10, and you probably will notice a different shift in your body.
Is there certain, the theta, that creates, but when you're trying to go to sleep or
Yes.
when you're, is there different instances when you should breathe differently and what?
Alpha, beta, theta, you mean?
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
yes, exactly. There's different sequences for when you're trying to go to sleep. Obviously, you don't want to do anything hyperventilating. But then also something that I'm going to show you guys today is something called the triactive breath. Lots of naming conventions out there right now. This one is simply something like a tri. It's a 3-part. And this one you'll see often with babies. If you've ever heard a baby have a tantrum and then when they're trying to come back, they're like, and they're getting that hyperventilation. We're going to mimic that, but not as quick, but a sustained amount. And that will get you into something called a holotropic state, where you begin to perhaps feel sensations physically in your body, perhaps emotions come up, you'll feel a complete shift. And because we are oxygenating our blood, we're taking out the CO2, and we're bringing in more O2 with that.
So Whitney, is this something like, let's say I've got a horrible boss, I'm at my desk, that I can do it for 2 minutes or something, or I'm getting pulled over by a cop, getting a ticket. Is there things like that? Because people get anxious, right?
Yeah. The simplest one I would say is box breathing. That's one that we can take away or take home. And it's just like it sounds, 4 sides to it. Each side you're going to do a different count. So whether it's 4 seconds we start with usually, for first time breathers, you're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. And if you do that for literally 5 minutes, maybe even a minute, you'll just notice that you begin to get back into a more balanced state, homeostasis.
As I've done breathwork sessions with you in the past, Whitney, what always impresses me about it is how you can rest with what feel like empty lungs. to almost reset your system internally. And that's something that I feel like we've become we breathe all the time. It's so subconscious that when you really put thought into doing it, it does have kind of a profound effect on what your body chemistry is doing for you.
Totally. It's like a reset button in a lot of ways.
I did a transcendental meditation. That one that you were talking about previously, what was it called?
Oh, the triactive breath?
Yeah, it was sort of, there was sort of that sort of factor in there where it does kind of, that's how you kind of transcend, when you kind of get to that point. You say the same like mantra over and over again, but you're also doing that. You have to remember to say the mantra and remember to breathe in this particular way in order to kind of step outside of yourself.
Yeah, keeping the focus on something too is important. And I think a lot of it is that we live in this state that's so busy and so go, go, go. And so we are in constant overdrive, which is, if you look at your nervous system, there's two sides. So we're constantly in this like sympathetic where we're go, 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 fight or flight. It used to be like, oh, there's a bear, I must run. And now it's like, it's a bad email, it's the person honking at you behind you. And we need to get back to the parasympathetic
Co-hosts.
state. Co-host. Anything bugging you, and we live in that state, but if we don't balance ourselves and we don't do the rest and digest, and we're only doing it when we sleep, then we're off balance most of the time in our life. So it's just getting us back to this even kill, this homeostasis, as I put it.
So is this this is what you do, this is your job, No,
my part-time, I would say. More like passion, if anything.
Okay.
And the only reason I got into it is because I needed it just like anybody else.
We were talking about it earlier. We both have the same autoimmune disease, which the medications and certain aspects of it can cause a lot of anxiety to the point where you just you can't function, and so I was talking about alternative therapies that I appreciate the fact that that's more the climate now, that everyone's trying anything in order to just feel better, and this is definitely one of those things that that just fucking works. Yeah. It's just something. It's one of those things. It's really hard, even though it's beneficial, to take time out of your day, even if it's 10 fucking minutes. That seems like a lifetime to sit down and with yourself.
With yourself, that's
and just breathe. How's that so fucking hard? I don't know, but we are our own worst enemies all the time. Mm-hmm. It's a couple of minutes. Just sit still, and I'm telling myself that.
So Whitney, let me ask you a question. Do you go to I can hire you as a company? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Tell me how your gig works.
So mine is a lot of it too. I try to offer accessibility. So I do Zoom sessions a lot of the time. I am offered to go to spaces. I went with Adam once to Joshua Tree, and that was really fun. And I led a group session, kind of like what I'm going to do today.
Find an Airbnb and book Whitney for a weekend.
They have the coolest,
incredible. Yeah.
The coolest Airbnbs
it was so
in Joshua
sick.
Tree.
Oh yes, and yes.
I mean, the houses are insane.
Yeah, it is so fun. So I kind of try to add that and give group sessions. I follow the moon cycles just so that people are relevant to that and know, we have heightened times during new moons and full moons. So I try to offer in those spaces. But just as you point, Adam, you can probably touch on this, having a couple sessions is getting back to yourself. That's the biggest part. Mm-hmm. The first time I did it and the first time I tried breathwork, it was a 5-minute session. And afterwards I'm like, oh, there I am again. I've missed this person that I've been trying to get back to. I was postpartum. I was super stressed. I was, was on maternity leave, got let go because it was COVID, single parent, all the things. And I was like, if I don't find something now, this is imperative so that I can take care of my child.
I mean, COVID was a miserable time, but in the moment, we did have time to just sit with ourselves.
Right.
We couldn't do anything else, So, I mean, in some level, it was beneficial to certain people that used it as a tool instead of,
I, for one, thought COVID was a 2-year party, so, it's different for everybody,
I mean, I feel like that's your life in general, so.
Well, there's that. And for me to come back, Whitney, I lost myself in the 60s, so we got a long ways to come back.
One step at a time.
Yeah, he needs ayahuasca.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I need it all.
We better hook him up to the battery of one of the cars.
Yeah.
I think that might help us out here. And I tried a few other things, especially as I was going through transitions post-college, between careers, things like that. I tried float tanks and a couple other meditation techniques, but breathwork was the one that for me really brought it back internally most effectively and quickest too. I don't fully understand the science, and I'm always interested when you talk about it. How much I understand is very little. Yeah. But what I notice in the practice is that it's always very beneficial for me to start doing something very simple and focus on it and follow through with the process.
And I think too, like a lot of the time we just need coaches for that, right? Because it's very easy to say we're going to do something, but without somebody leading, you can totally get your focus off. And I'm the same way, which is why I kind of got into it.
Everyone needs a little kick in the ass.
So guys, why don't we get into this?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
So today we're going to do a triactive breath, and we're going to hopefully be able to hold it, sustained hold our breath for 10 minutes. No, just kidding. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is this breath continuously. There's no need to go fast. I always say depth over speed. And this is going to be done all through the mouth, but if you start to feel like there's impingement there, you can do it through your nose too. So I'll show you both options. We're just going to do it for 4 songs. So each song has a different rhythm, of course. You can follow along to the music for your pacing, or just follow your own pace. If at any time it becomes too extreme, you can just come back to normal breathing. So inviting you now to place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And these are the 2 compartments we're gonna breathe into. Triactive, 3 parts. So if we'll first breathe into our belly through our mouth, then you'll breathe into your chest, and then out your mouth. Belly, chest, out the mouth. Belly, chest, out the mouth. So you're cycling it through. You're basically taking half a breath here, half a breath here, and letting it go. You'll notice over time, you'll start to be able to get deeper, and both will rise a little bit more. It also feels like a workout where the first minute's uncomfortable, and then after that, your body's warmed up, and it'll start to find its rhythm naturally.
I feel like that's what they told me yesterday when I got in the ice bath. It's going to be uncomfortable for a minute, but then it's cool. Yep. But that wasn't true.
She was miserable.
I might have been a poor example too. I was really comfortable in the ice bath.
Yeah, you put the kid in there. He was like, "Hey, can you get me a beer?"
Yeah.
I'm
Some
good.
people
And
are
he's just
like
talking, and I was like, "Fuck." Yeah, they're like, "How you doing? Just relax your shoulders." I was like, "Fuck you. You relax your shoulders."
This used to be a PG show until Brandi came on.
Put me in an ice bath, and the F word is gonna. I mean, come on.
Okay, guys, let's get busy.
You got it. Okay, everybody can lay down. If you start to experience any pain in the back, place your feet flat on the ground, or you can throw a pillow under there.
Okay.
Comfort is first in this.
Is it okay to lift your legs up like this?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
I suggest that.
Okay, perfect.
That'll help us with the forklift later for sure.
Yeah. We're gonna have to borrow one.
Everybody just start to cue into our breath first. So finding it through our nose and out our mouth. Notice where you feel your breath. Is it coming more from your chest? And before we go into our sequence, just focusing on something in your life right now, maybe even just for today, an intention that you want to carry through these next several songs. In unison, everybody, we're gonna take a breath now in through our nose for the count of 4. 3, 2, 1, hold your breath for 4. 3, 2, 1, exhale for 4. 3, 2, 1, hold your breath for 4. 3, 2, 1, around, inhale for 4. 3, 2, 1, hold your breath for 4. 3, 2, 1, let go for 4. 3, 2, 1, and hold. 4, 3, 2, 1. Simple box breathing. We did it. Now, inviting you to place one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. We're going to start by breathing into our belly through our mouth, breathing into our chest through our mouth, out your mouth. Starting to find your rhythm as the music goes. If at any point the mouth is not accessible, you can breathe in through the nose and still out the mouth. Well, let's start with our mouth if it works for you. That's it. Knowing the first minute will feel uncomfortable as you find your rhythm, and that is okay. Movement is also always welcomed here if you want to shake out your hands or massage your jaw. Notice areas of your body that need some relief. I can see the breaths are getting deeper. Keeping that beautiful focus. If there's tension in your back, bringing your knees up to your chest is always welcome. Getting back in touch with ourselves, out of our mind and into our bodies. Last 5 breaths here. On your 5th breath, letting all the air out, taking an inhale through your nose, taking a full inhale in next, and holding at the top. Inhaling as much air as you can, filling the lungs, the belly, hold your breath. And when you do let go, letting go with a loud sigh. Beautiful. Just coming back to normal breathing or continuing to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And when you're ready, starting to feel back into your body, inviting you to just wiggle your toes and your fingers. And slowly, when you're ready, rolling to one side if that suits you. Bringing your knees up to your chest if you want to lay still on your back. Beautiful. And on your own time, slowly coming up to a seated position. When you take your mask off, just keep your eyes somewhat shut until you adjust to the light. Focusing on something in the room to bring back your consciousness. Beautiful, you guys, and that's it. Namaste.
Yeah, dude, it always just like is so simple how it just brings you back like that. Wow.
I forgot I was here.
That happens to you a lot, huh?
Yeah, it does. It does. Back to that cocaine. Well, then you wake up in a studio with all the lights.
Yeah, you're like, wow, this is my reality?
Hey guys, I got to tell you, I just did this, and I don't do these things, but you got to try it. It's pretty amazing. Check it out, guys.